All right, guys. So we got some earnings dropping today, specifically Verizon. We got 3M. I'm gonna put the numbers that we see out. Hopefully, they have a good influence over markets. Here's one of them that just dropped. Here's 3M. They posted adjusted EPS of 268 versus 234 expected. Revenue of 8.3 billion. They expected 7.89 billion. They posted adjusted revenue of 8 billion. Raised fiscal year adjusted EPS view of 895 to 915. Previously it was 860 to 910, and they expected 887. So better than expected, better than last time. For guidance, better than expected for revenue. So 3M killed it for earnings. They did really well. You can see the SPY on the left side. SPY gapping up today, had somewhat of a green day yesterday, but it wasn't like really green. And you can kind of see 3M is gapping up a little bit on this earnings report. We also had General Motors report their numbers. GM posted quarter 3 adjusted EPS of 228. They expected 188. Here, let me post this. Sorry, I actually should have just typed in GM here. GM gapping up on good earnings. You see GM's numbers right there. Revenue of 44.13, expected 43.68. I forgot GM was today too, man. Maybe I should have. Yeah, so GM's already out with their numbers. RTX supposed to be dropping theirs. All right. All right, guys. So slap the like button. We also had Spotify numbers come out today already too. Danaher company came out with theirs as well. So here's Spotify. They posted a 33-cent EPS, which was a good beat versus 22-cent loss expected. Revenue of 3.36 bill, expected 3.33, so slightly better there. MAUs, which is monthly active users, are at 574 million. They expected 566 million. So Spotify coming in much worse than expected for daily active users. You can see they're dipping down all the way to 147s. I assume they would. I mean, they come in pretty light for this. They came in a pretty big percentage. Like you can see the monthly active users, they expected they expected 566. Oh, I'm sorry, I must have read it wrong. They expected 566, they showed 574, so they had better than expected monthly active users. Premium subs are up 16% at 226 million. Quarter 4 revenue came in at 3.7 versus 3.69. It looks like everything was better than expected here. So higher than expected everything. I'm not sure why they're down, but it kind of shows you with like earnings, you never really know if they're going to react positively or negatively from it. Sorry, guys. I don't know what it is about my old mic. My good mic's working now. Sorry. The GM numbers were good. They came in much better than expected. Adjusted EPS was 228. They expected 188.
So better than expected. Their revenue came in higher than expected at 44.13 billion versus 43.68 billion, or 43.68 billion, I should say. But yeah, they came in better than expected. Dow came in at 42 cents versus 44 cents, so they missed EPS. Revenue of 10.73, they expected 10.32, so better than expected revenue. Quarter 4 revenue view came in at 10 to 10.5 versus 10.7 expected, so worse guidance for the fourth quarter for Dow. Didn't Coca-Cola drop theirs this morning, or was that tomorrow? When's Coca-Cola numbers? Was that today? Yeah, dude. Honestly, man, I would have... titled this for Coca-Cola earnings too, but... Yeah, I would have titled this too, but whatever. We do have PMI data dropping this morning, so... Freaking earnings whisper not giving me the right ones. All right, but yeah, Coca-Cola drops theirs. They're not out at theirs yet, though. Danaher came in better than expected EPS, better than expected revenue. GE came in better than expected EPS, better than expected revenue, raised fiscal year adjusted EPS view, fiscal year organic revenue view, low teens, previous low double digits for GE General Electric, so they did okay. My nose is stopped up, man. I don't know what it is. Like, my throat hurts, but I assumed my throat hurting is just from getting rear naked choked and Ezekiel choked in jiu-jitsu. But my nose is stopped up now, making me feel like I'm sick, but I'm not. I feel fine. Let me drink some coffee. Yeah. Oh. Yeah, I heard I feel sick. It's weird. It's the weirdest feeling. Yeah, Bitcoin at 35,000, guys. Wow. 35,000 for Bitcoin. Crazy, crazy. Yeah, Pawn warned me of this yesterday. And he was right. So yeah, basically, I think he said that they're forcing the SEC to make a decision on the grayscale or something like that, right? It's going to be a freaking wildly busy day today for me. Yeah, it could be allergies. I don't know. What's the temperature like outside? It's 74. I mean, it could be worse. Maybe it is allergies. I don't know. Yeah, I'm sure the mining stocks are ripping up. Mayor riot. Yeah. All right. Yeah, so again, we'll see what happens. Yeah, so Bitcoin flying up. And good for it, man. Cam and I have been telling everybody that this was going to happen, most likely. So we've been telling everybody this is probably on the front, you know. Yeah, nobody remind me of the Astros losing to the Rangers last night and losing the World Series shot. It's all right. At least the Rangers are going to make it. They better win, though. That's all I'm saying. The teams they're playing this year are pretty gimme teams, so. Yeah, luckily we're green today. That's nice. These Tesla's back up to like the 220s. All right, guys. So we got some other ones coming out today. Yeah, we're just waiting for other. Halliburton just dropped their numbers. Again, we can look at a little bit more detail. 3M raised fiscal year adjusted EPS view 895 to 915. They previously thought 860 to 910. They expected 887. So better than expected for fiscal year adjusted EPS view guidance. Fiscal year 23 revenue view is minus 5%. They expected minus 7.7%. So better than expected in that regard as well for fiscal year 23 revenue guidance for 3M. Let's take a look at what they're doing. They're shooting up on this. Not the biggest volatility. We also have Halliburton that just released their numbers here. So Halliburton out with theirs. They posted adjusted EPS of 77 cents. Expected 77 cents, revenue of 5.8, expected 5.86. So slightly, mostly mixed, but slightly down for Halliburton in terms of earnings. Dow came out with theirs. GM came out with theirs as well. Let's take a look at GM here. And then Coca-Cola is set to release theirs a little bit later on this morning. So we're going to do a poll. Will the market rebound from the recent bear action? Yes or no? Vote on that poll. We're going to keep it simple, just yes or no, instead of a bunch of other options. AIRE, never heard of it, Paulo. Yeah, it's one of those really low float, crazy, weird squeezes. I'm not touching it. There's just so much risk involved, you know, unless you're going to buy like a tiny piece of share. And then I only see it going up to, I see it hit 575, but I don't know what that is, Paulo. I'm not messing with that, dude. Too much risk, you know. There's just a lot of risk there, dude. I'm just not trying to mess with that. We also have, again, manufacturing services, PMI. We got Microsoft, Google earnings this evening. We just got a bunch of stuff. I'm going to be busy all week this week, to be honest. Like, it's going to be a super busy week, and that's okay. I don't mind being busy. It's good for the channel, but still, man, just busy. Okay, so yeah, Air was an IPO that ran to over 500 on only 32,000 shares traded yesterday. Stayed halted. That's what it was. Like, they just didn't, like, low float or low liquid move. I don't know what's going on. Nothing sure in earnings, Oleg. We don't know what we're gonna get for anything. So Coca-Cola, nothing's guaranteed in earnings, brother. Not even direction. Like, so they could do great for earnings and just crash, bro. Yeah, so waiting on Verizon, waiting on Coca-Cola, waiting on RTX to drop. Nokia. Did they have earnings today? Nokia, man, that thing doesn't move anymore. Yeah, we're sitting tight. So Coca-Cola is scheduled for 6:55, which is in 3 minutes. All right, so Coca-Cola is scheduled for 6:55. They are expecting, dude, it hurts to swallow. They're expecting 69-cent EPS on 11.46 billion in rev. So we'll see if they hit it. But they're dropping pretty soon. They're scheduled to drop in 2 minutes now. So slap the like button if you haven't already, team. We appreciate it. Anything else that looks good? Your opinion on Teladoc earnings after market? It should be okay as the increased prices and low expectations and short ration. Yeah, I mean, I don't know a ton about Teladoc. I think I've actually used Teladoc before, actually, but I think it's kind of gimmicky because you can't really get anything. Like, the easiest way to explain it is it seems kind of gimmicky to me because, like, you know, I'm not talking about like narcotics, but like even if you want antibiotics, bro, like I remember my wife tried using them to get some antibiotics for like a sinus infection she had, and like they were weird about it. And so, you know, I think going to them is like risky, and I think I don't know. That's just my experience with the overall business though. And so if you can't use them for antibiotics, like what are you really going to use them for, you know? But aside from that, I guess they're useful. It just depends on if you got the money to want to pay for it or not. All right, so here goes Coca-Cola. They're scheduled to drop right now. Look at Coca-Cola pop up. So Coca-Cola at 55. Let's see what they showed up as. Looks like their earnings are certainly out right now. All right, Coca-Cola posted 71-cent EPS. 71-cent EPS. Revenue of 12 billion. So it looks like they missed on revenue. RTX posted adjusted EPS of 125 versus 121. Revenue of 19 versus 18.59. We'll put the RTX numbers up in chat here so you can see what's going on. There's RTX's numbers right there. We'll put RTX up. So both of these just dropped. RTX didn't really move much, but they beat on both things. Coca-Cola out with theirs as well. Again, Coca-Cola posted 71 cent. Or I'm showing 71 cent. Here, I'll put this up. Yeah, so I'm showing 71-cent EPS on 69 versus 69 cents, revenue of 12 versus 11.4. There's Coca-Cola. And then again, here's RTX. Both of these are up in the chat now. You know, here's the other Coca-Cola look if you want. I'm showing adjusted GAAP EPS, which is generally accepting accounting principles. 74 cent beat 65 estimates. Revenue of 12 beat the 10.79 estimates. So Coca-Cola beat, not really reacted the best to it, but, you know, did gap up a little bit. RTX is just super liquid, but starting to gap up a little bit. It's at $75, which is good. I'm in RTX right now. I've been holding this one for the last like month or two, or last like week or two. So that's good. Our portfolio is nicely green today. I forgot I was also in Coca-Cola. But hey, they're up. Dixie's moving with the markets. Yeah, I mean, it happens sometimes. You know, it's part of it. Yeah, Coca-Cola didn't really have some big reaction. RTX is up, though. Look at it bump up to the 75.50, so that's good. All right, so RTX up to 76 plus right now. So that's good. We'll see if the market holds, man. The market's been kind of chaotic, in all honesty. The big earnings drop tomorrow or this evening too. All right, let's see what we get. KO week reaction. Yeah, I mean, under 55. Look at RTX bump up, though. And again, we are in RTX. You got some shares to it. I want to see this reaction. You know, I bought it because of the stuff going on overseas. The 77 just tapped for RTX. So again, that looks good. Let's see if it holds. Coca-Cola struggling to do, you know, to do anything here. But these earnings definitely helping me out. You know, I've been in Apple. I'm mostly flat on Apple, though, which is this shock. ASTI spiking. What is that? Yeah, so Spotify, Coca-Cola, already out with theirs yet. No, ASTI. Yeah, it's gapping up a little bit. It's just a sketchy penny stock, though, man. I'm skeptical. Yeah, I'm still in ARM. Nice. Yeah. I mean, my average price, if I'm being honest, in ARM is 63. So that, and so even this push is nice and all. And I mean, we're not in a big trade or anything like that. Like, we already took profit once in ARM, so like we're okay regardless. But we still got a long way to go before we're actually green in that one. Coca-Cola trying, RTX breaking highs again. It's at 77.13, so they're trying to move up. Well, I don't think he means like weak in terms of negative. I think he means weak in terms of not very strong, like relative to what the earnings were. It underreacted. Yeah, but that's what I'm assuming he means by weak. He's not actually meaning it's down. He just means that relative to what the numbers were, which were good, like Coca-Cola had pretty good numbers. 74 beat 65, revenue was higher than expected. All that stuff would signal a strong reaction, and it underwhelmed a little bit, I think, is what he meant. For more sketch, look at what Leon just did. Yeah, I mean, this is why I don't like penny stocks. This thing just dropped 50% in 3 minutes after gapping up 400% in 1 minute. You know what I mean? Like, just sketchy. RTX still pushing, though. Coca-Cola finally starting to make a move up. It looks good. We'll see if it holds. Coca-Cola's starting to creep up, too. ASTI. Well, yeah, maybe. I mean, Tesla is fighting his way back, right? Yeah, Tesla at 216. Hit 202s yesterday. That's good. Again, I'm going to watch Coca-Cola, watch RTX. So we're actually green in our RTX trade now. I don't know what I want to do with it, though. Yeah, we're green now. It's in pre-market, so we're not doing the best in terms of yeah. So Coca-Cola has met or beaten EPS expectations of going back at least 8 quarters, and look, there's Coca-Cola starting to pop back up. That looks better. Look at RTX pump though. RTX at almost $78 a share. Coca-Cola testing highs of the day. That's nice. Just broke it, or just tapping it now. 55.40s is what's going on. It's kind of testing that level. This is probably the biggest news today. I mean, we got services and manufacturing PMI at 10 today, so that might be important. We'll cover that when it happens. All right, so again, we're green in RTX. Earnings kind of saving the day. Coca-Cola just ripped over the daily highs. It's now at 55.56. Let's watch this level here. It's doing all right. It's trying to hold. RTX popping up there as well still. Yeah, we covered GM. GM numbers were right here. So GM posted adjusted EPS of 228. They expected 188, revenue of 44.13 bill, expected 43.68 billion. Withdrawals fiscal year 23 guidance due to strike uncertainty. So that's the problem with GM is strike fears. RTX tapping over highs again. Now it's 78.12s. Like my average is good here, but RTX still pumping up, man. Wow, look at this. Most stocks are green on my portfolio today, which is nice. We'll see if it continues to hold this way, but most are green right now. Again, this evening we also have Google and Microsoft earnings, so we'll see if those come in good. Hopefully they do. RTX with a big pump. Netflix. Yeah, I mean, Netflix held its gains pretty well, man. It pushed up from 340s all the way to 400s, and then it stayed there, which is kind of something that a lot of stocks have not been able to do, which is hold the gains that they've made recently. So Netflix doing okay. What's up, Beach Bum? So, yeah, this is the news right now. Dane Cook said, quote, "I've decided to keep everyone looped in real time since this weekend. The global AMC theater supporters helped Adam Aaron and myself link up via Twitter. I sent the email after a weekend of touring him and awaiting a reply. This is a potentially massive moment for stand-up as well for AMC, so I can't wait to share any more intel once we connect. Thanks for all the exuberant positive responses over the weekend. Happy Monday." RTX still pumping up, breaking highs again, almost up to 79s right now. Wow. Look at RTX still pump. Coca-Cola still consolidating after the move, but I'll probably take a little piece of RTX off. Just lock in a little bit, just because we can. Protect the trade a little bit, because we can. All right, guys. Yeah, so I'm reading again. I'm reading some other stuff, but watching the market pump. Look at Coca-Cola. RTX still moving, so that's nice. We'll see if it continues to hold. No ad this morning. We should be monetized. I'm pretty sure. Let me make sure. I'm pretty sure we are. Yeah, we're monetized. Appreciate the help though. All right, guys. So, yeah, the wars scare me. All right, team. Yeah, man, there's some scary stuff on Twitter. I'm not gonna, Yeah, so sorry, I'm watching all this drama on social media. Again, RTX still popping up. Let me see any other news that we have dropping today. Got some other earnings that I'm not really like super corning. Never heard of them really. The UK is reportedly axing caps on bankers' bonuses, according to FT. Barclays sees limited immediate impact from sanctions relief from Venezuela, with anticipated production boost implying a 2 BBL downside to its 99 BBL fair value estimate for Brent. So watching Bitcoin here, man. And again, if you haven't looked at crypto this morning, Bitcoin at basically 35K. That's crazy. All right, team. Tesla made a huge comeback. I mean, I wouldn't really call it huge. It's still got a long way to go. Like, and I'm in Tesla right now. I hope it goes up. I wouldn't really call it huge though. You know, like it's up to 218s. That's great. Like it's green over the last few days. But the problem with Tesla is like it was at 260 before this. So it's at 218s right now. So like when you look at the size of the rebound, it's really not that impressive. I mean, I'm not super pumped about this little baby bounce here. You know, I'm not super psyched about that bounce. I think we need a lot more than that. Again, you can kind of see we're at 270s, you know, a couple weeks before that. And so now we'd have to get way back up there if we really want to be back from where we were. And that's a long way up. So we'll see. But yeah. My average on Netflix is 380s. 380s is my average on Netflix. Yeah, Bitcoin safe haven. That's what a lot of people are talking about. Would you buy a Mustang, Corvette, or Camaro, or maybe a Porsche? If I had to pick one right now, it wouldn't be a Mustang for sure. It wouldn't be a Camaro for sure. It would either be a Vet or a Porsche. Personally, like with my own like taste of cars, like it would either be a Vet or a Porsche. I always liked Porsches. I think they were cool. They were small. But right now I'd probably go with that new Vet. The new Vets are dope, man. I like those. Those are cool. RTX is a defense stock. Yeah, they're a defense stock. Yeah, I hope a big bounce happens for sure, you know. Like I hope we bounce big, you know what I mean? Again, Tesla, we'll see what happens. I mean, it's got a chance. RTX still surging. Again, Coca-Cola, another one I'm in. I'm in a bunch of stocks long term though. But probably just gonna sit tight. I mean, we're up $500 or so in equities on the day. The problem is we were down like more than that yesterday. So Bitcoin at plus 85 cents or plus 85% since Jim Cramer said he wouldn't touch crypto in a million years. So Gates is now the largest owner of farmland in the U.S. All right, so again, RTX tapped over 79. Tesla still at 220s or 219s. All right, so yeah, Bitcoin at 35K. Verizon earnings dropped. They came in at 122 EPS. They expected 111. Sales of 33.3 bill, expected 31.36 billion. They ended the third quarter with 10.3 million broadband customers, which is a 21% year-over-year increase. Some other stuff happened too, but that's basically what we got this morning. That's most of the earnings are out now. We'll see what we get, but yeah. All right, so we got Verizon. Let's see what Verizon's doing. Tesla's still climbing. Verizon had a pretty good increase, man. Verizon, we had 3M, we had GM, we had GE, we had Spotify, we had Coca-Cola, let's see what else we got. Halliburton, Archer Daniels, Danaher, CNC, NextEra, PHM. So many earnings this morning, man. Hilarious. Yeah, and if you want to get a breakdown on everything we posted, we just posted the like a full list of the earnings this morning. Spotify down after good earnings. Can we see a bounce? Yeah, Verizon's up. Coca-Cola mostly up. Here's VZ. Verizon ripping up. RTX, of course, doing really well. Here's Tesla today. Tesla up to 218. We'll see if it holds. I mean, I hope it does. Will we get a Santa rally this holiday season? I'm not sure, man. I'm waiting. Yeah. Yeah, the world's crazy right now, man. Las Vegas wasn't allowed to have a major pro sports team for the first 112 years of its existence. Since 2017, our teams have been to 5 championship final series. We've won 3 championship trophies in the past 13 months. Yeah. I'm rooting for Vegas, man. All right, so BLK is allegedly buying a lot of Bitcoin in preparation for the ETF filing. See, the risky part of this, though, is that if for whatever reason it doesn't happen, be careful. All right, guys. So we'll see what happens, man. Again, I'm interested to see if we get some good numbers for Microsoft earnings today. We're going to stream Microsoft earnings most likely. I don't know if I ever tried. All right, so we did that. We tried Google before. Yeah, I was thinking about getting into the watch market, but to be honest, man, what I realized very quickly is that like the watch market's kind of like the sneaker market where there's just so many fakes floating around, bro. There's so many fake sneakers, like, and there's so many fake watches. It just seems sketchy to get involved. I bought 10 420 SPY calls into the close yesterday. Hey, good luck. Fang gonna lead the rally. Yeah, I hope so. Coin. Yeah, I'm sure Coin is ripping up with Bitcoin up 35K. You know, the problem with Coinbase, though, is that it was at $114 back in July. So, like, you know. How about those Rangers bringing class and respect back to Texas? Yeah, I mean, if they could just win one World Series ever, you know, I'm sure the world would respect Texas Rangers a lot more. You know what I mean? And I'm rooting for them, to be honest. I hope they win. Like, I'm not even from Houston. Like, I root for the Astros because I live here. But I'm really from Louisiana, so. Yeah, Google earnings are today. So is Microsoft. Microsoft, Google, a bunch of, what's up, Chris? Yeah, Microsoft, Google, a bunch of other ones. Bitcoin flying up. See what the poll says. I haven't looked at the poll. So 70% of people think we are going to bounce. 30% of people say no, we're not going to bounce. So we'll see. I hope we do, man. Again, I don't want the market to do poorly. I hope the market rips up and like survives. It needs to. Is 10 billion in buybacks from RTX a lot? Yeah. I mean, that's a pretty big amount. 10 bill. There'll be a lot of FOMO. Yeah, I mean, I bet. Bitcoin at 35K now. It's just going to have a lot of people hyped up. Again, the only risk is that if it, for whatever reason, doesn't go through, and I think it's pretty likely that it does, but if for whatever reason doesn't go through, we could see some big pullbacks here. I'm not saying that's what's going to happen. I'm just saying it's possible. Chuck Norris, you know, the GOAT. My son asked me a question. He was like, Dad, who's the best karate guy in the world? And so my response to him was obvious. Chuck Norris, dude. Like, culture yourself, okay? And then I honestly went on to tell him why karate's good, but Muay Thai and boxing is better. Jiu-jitsu's better, you know. You know, judo, you know, but Muay Thai, boxing, wrestling, jiu-jitsu, all better than karate. More effective for self-defense as well as like fighting in general, you know. So he can learn karate. That's cool. But like, you know. Yeah, I'm watching all the stuff going on overseas. All right, guys. Yeah, I'm watching RTX still, watching Coinbase at 84s, watching Tesla. You know, we're watching Coca-Cola as well. Coca-Cola right around the highs of the day. I got to wait a lot of these until the opening bell. All right, so apparently some politicians are selling shares. So the SEC commissioner says that the spot Bitcoin ETF should have been approved 5 years ago. The logic for why we haven't approved a spot Bitcoin ETF has always mystified me, end quote. All right, so again, there's some auto news data coming out. And this guy, car dealership guy, says, quote, many people have asked me to why I haven't commented on the concerning auto loan data that just came out. In case you haven't heard, the percentage of subprime auto borrowers 60 plus days past due on loans hit a record high of 6.1% in September. This marked the highest delinquency rate of all time, above the 6% peak in 94 and 5% peak in 2008. Truthfully, it's taken a couple days to digest. I'm concerned. Basically, there's a lot of people defaulting on auto loans, specifically right now. This is essentially what happened in 2008, right? In the subprime mortgage disaster of 2008, right? Is that people got into crappier and crappier mortgages, right? And they were adjustable rate. And so after their grace period, after their teaser rate, expired and their actual adjustable rate hit, a lot of people lost their homes and went into delinquency, and that snowballed and kind of had like a domino effect on the rest of the mortgage market, and then in turn in the rest of the actual market. And so again, I think this is probably it's interesting to see if I know mortgages can do that because mortgages are so ingrained in our society. But I'm wondering what the effects of cars are going to be. And I'm going to keep reading this. And again, this is from Car Dealership Guy on Twitter. It says, quote, truthfully, it's taken me a couple days to digest. I'm concerned, but my concerns go away beyond the car market. I'm concerned about people that are struggling to keep up with their bills. I'm concerned about families that will lose money or lose their means of transportation. I'm concerned about our economy. I'm concerned about the future I'm optimistic. Okay, basically he's concerned. Not really any other stuff or data set from that. And you got a lot of people commenting on it. Again, I don't know. I know cars are freaking ridiculously overpriced right now and in a huge bubble, just a ridiculous bubble. And they have been for a long time, you know. What do you guys think? When will you short Netflix? Never. I don't ever short blue chip companies. It's a sucker's bet, you know. Like maybe it drops, but the risk that you take by betting against the most successful companies in the world is too high. You know, only mostly rookie retail traders who idolize Michael Burry are going to really be about that. Again, you can do it, but the edge is so low. Like anybody that understands markets understands that like long term, the statistical edge you have is on the upside in blue chips, right? Like blue chips are going to go up for the most part. You always have outliers, and people always like to bring up the outliers. Like, well, what about this stock? And it's like, well, sure, some stocks are not going to go up long term. Of course, that's the nature of the market, but in the end, most stocks do go up long term. And again, this is not really arguable statistically. Like we can look back at the history of markets and see that most stocks go up over time. And so betting against that upward increase over time, again, for a lot of reasons, one of them is because the dollar devalues, right? Your dollars are worth less. And so you got to spend more to buy the same stuff over time. And that's one of the reasons that you'll see stock prices increase over time. But again, betting against that increase is kind of a retail trader thing. I'm not necessarily doing it. I'm not saying you can't make money with it. And if you can, great. I'm just not personally about to do it. I think a lot of, I think a lot of young retail traders, maybe they watch The Big Short, they idolize Michael Burry. Maybe they don't, and they don't know any of those guys, and they just are pessimistic in nature. I think they get talked into doing it where the biggest edge is on the upside for me. Well, I short on a short-term basis, Bree. So I don't mind shorting things like, I don't mind shorting intraday. And I'll short stuff intraday for sure. I'm not talking about intraday. I'm talking about holding shorts long-term. Shorting intraday is fine. I do that pretty regularly. And that's understandable as long as you can cut it. I'm not against that at all. Yeah, Microsoft earnings. You're my guy, but super false. I mean, it's all good. We can agree to disagree. Again, if you think it's false, I'm open to hearing the argument, and it's all love. As long as you're respectful about it, we can have this conversation. It's all good. Where do you see NVIDIA going today? Oh, no idea. NVIDIA almost up to 440s. So honestly, I didn't realize how much NVIDIA went up yesterday. NVIDIA almost up to 440s. That's great. Honestly, yeah, that's a great sign, and it needs it, to be honest. And again, I'm not saying you can't make money. I'm sure there's some traders that can. Just for me, the edge is, it's just such a small edge, and trying to identify. The only way I'll short a stock, it's not really a blue chip. It might have previously been a blue chip, is if I think technology has rendered it obsolete, right? So if like technology is rendered like Dish. I've been telling people Dish is crap for a year now, and Dish has mostly been dropping throughout that entire period of time. Dish has dropped from $80 back in 2015 to $4 now, $4.70s. And so if a company is obsolete in technology, fine. Like I'll short it if it sets up well enough. But those are the only ones I'll short. I'm not going to short Netflix or Coca-Cola or Amazon or Apple. That's just pretty risky. I mean, you can short them short term, like intraday, but I'm not going to hold those long. I'm not going to hold those longer than a day short. Hey, thank you, Ramsey, for the $4, brother. Thanks so much, man. Yeah, and again, like to understand, team, you can short something intraday. I'm not talking about intraday, but the problem is that, is that it's not really statistically arguable. Again, if we look at the S&P 500, right, which is the 500 largest stocks in the world, and you look at a weekly chart, it's very easy to prove the long-term edge of blue chip markets is on the upside, and that stocks, the S&P 500 is going to give you, again, it's not arguable, it's going to give you about 6 to 12% a year on average. It's not every year. Sometimes you're going to have red years, sometimes you're going to have bear markets, but what that means is that on the good years, you're going to have much larger increases than 6 to 12%. And so, you know, again, you can look at 1970, the S&P was at $72. $72 right now. The S&P is at what, $4,200. So over time it's going to go up, and I just don't want to bet against that edge. You know, like I'll short the NASDAQ, I'll short the SPY, I'll short the Q, I'll short, you know, whatever, short term intraday, but not long term. And again, maybe I'm wrong, but that's just how I trade. Yeah, automobile industry is just in a ridiculous bubble right now. Like, they're just crazy extended. But yeah, thanks for the donation, Ramsey. I appreciate it, bro. Where do you see Nvidia going? I'm not sure. Yeah, I mean, the problem is that, like, crashes are kind of the worst thing to ever try to bet your money on. You know, and a lot of the time I'll get people that disagree with me, and then I'll say, hey, you know, explain yourself if you disagree. And then I just don't ever really hear anything back, because I think they understand, like, look, again, you can short stuff, that's fine. If you find yourself sitting in a large cap company over a week short, you're playing with fire, you know, because again, over time those are probably going to go up. Maybe they don't. Maybe, like, there's some that don't. I'm sure there's some, you know, you can isolate a few of them that don't. But, you know, if you can randomly throw a dartboard and collect, you know, 20 different blue chip stocks, you know, and 2 of them fail long term and the other 18 succeed, where's your edge? It's on the upside, you know, not the downside. So I just try to stick to that edge. Yeah. Yeah, I think we're going to skip or pause a rate hike 75. I just don't think. And again, I think right now the market's a little bit different. I think right now we have this weird nuance of potential. It depends on what earnings show up as. You know, yesterday, if yesterday was a really red day, I think it could have catapulted us into a disaster. But again, this week is interesting because we specifically have Microsoft, Google, Amazon earnings. Today, we have Microsoft and Google earnings. Tomorrow, we have Meta earnings. Thursday, we have Amazon, and we have a bunch of other ones. McDonald's, you know, we've got a lot of other ones that drop. You know, through it. Here's Google. Google releases their earnings this evening as well. You have puts you can play at a fraction of the price. Yeah, but I mean, even if you're playing options, you're even more restricted. You know what I mean? Like, if you're playing options, you know, you might be right and everything. Like, you might go past the strike price and be in the green, in the money, and still lose money, you know, in the option. So options are going to make you more restricted. Of course, they're a fraction of the price, because if you're wrong, you lose everything. You know, you lose the entire option. And so, again, I don't know if that's an argument for it. I'm not saying you can't short and make money, and it's all good. Like I said, we could agree to disagree about it. I'm not saying you can't short and make money. What I'm saying is that the edge you have from going long and the edge you have from going short, when you're holding something, I would say over a week, is much higher on the upside than the downside. And so I'm just not looking for stuff to short. I think people underestimate how strong these companies are, you know, long term. And when they're wrong, a lot of the time they cry manipulation, or they say, oh, it would have gone up, the numbers were fake, you know, or whatever. But most of the time these companies are going to go up. Maybe not. I don't know. Yeah, I hope Tesla bottoms, but who knows, man? We never know. you gonna stream Coca-Cola call? No, probably not. Yeah, options are just too restrictive, man. Again, if you guys know me, I had a Roblox call option that I was correct about. I was in the money about it. It was a $30 call option. Roblox was at like 32 bucks. And I was still down like 30% in the option because of time decay and unfavorable Greeks and like all this different stuff. And so I told people at the same time, I'll tell them again. And again, I'm sure some people can make money with them. They're just not for me. They're too restrictive. Again, if you have enough buying power, shares are going to be better without question, because you're not going to be restricted. You can hold it as long or as little as you want without penalty. And I think that's the right move for me. All right, so Bill Ackman covered this big bond short. All right, so Coinbase is limiting Bitcoin withdrawals. I just tried to send Bitcoin from Coinbase to my old wallet. According to Colin, encountered a new $5,000 a week withdrawal limit policy. Yeah, it's sketchy on exchanges. All right, so Tesla pulling back to 217s. Is it time to buy the dip? All right, team. Yeah, there's probably more for options. I should have known. A short when the sentiment is bearish and go long when the sentiment is bullish. With options trading before options, I would trade on a funded account to learn how to generally trade. Yeah, I'm kind of the opposite though. Like I think like a lot of the time when the market sentiment is bearish, like yesterday, the market bounces like yesterday. And a lot of the time when the market sentiment is bullish, the market dips. And so the market can be contrarian in a lot of ways. You see it with earnings, you see it with stuff like this. And so again, that's everybody's different though. It's all good either way, Well, we're all just guessing, Ramsey. Nobody actually knows. You can be as confident as you want to be in any specific direction, but it's always a guess. You could use data to interpret things and guess better, but it's always a guess. How much would you pay to know the exact closing price of the SPY today? $1 million? Probably more. I mean, if you knew the exact closing price of the SPY today, you could make billions, from it. Well, I think most people are just wrong, and I think the banks are the ones that really run things, Ramsey. You know, like an example of this, again, I've always given this example because it's true, but an example of this is like, you know, last year around the same time, the market sentiment was very bearish. If you look at like the SPY throughout all this stuff, right? If you look at like the SPY and you know, all this stuff, you know, a year ago, right around the same point in time, was right around here, right? So we were right around the lows last October, you know, so the market sentiment was very bearish. Everybody was saying, oh no, a crash is imminently going to be here. The market's going to crash. They were getting mad at me for telling people we didn't have to crash, right? They were getting mad at me, telling them like, you know, their favorite gurus were telling everybody that we were going to imminently crash and it was going to get much worse soon, you know. And then, you know, again, who do you think put that narrative out there? The banks did. The banks did. They said, oh no, we're going to crash. We're going to crash. Everybody's like, oh no, we're going to crash, right? And then the next year, we rip up like 10, 15%. And so who do you think made money on the upside? The banks did. Who do you think lost money betting on the short side in this huge market rebound over the last year? Retail traders. They're the ones that lost money, you know, trying to be the next Michael Burry. And again, the banks know this and they use it against people. And so again, anytime I hear everybody be in one specific direction, my bias is usually on the other side. And so, you know, and again, even this little dip, like people are acting like this little dip's the end of the world. Like it's not a good dip for sure here, but we still are way better than down here. You know, in order to actually be a crash, like to actually be a market crash, we would have to dip like way down here. You know, and so we're still pretty far away from that. And again, if we keep dipping, it's not good. I think earnings will be a big factor here into what happens. But you know, markets started to bounce up. You know, SPY at 423, so it's still pretty solid. Tesla's still trying as well. What did Coca-Cola ever end up doing? It's still consolidating up. They're not really doing much. What about RTX? RTX is pushing up to maybe test those highs up there. So Bitcoin is ripping up on, you know, they're forcing the SEC's hand to evaluate the grayscale Bitcoin spot ETF. And if that gets approved, Bitcoin will probably ramp up. I think a lot of people are front loading into a potential approval for the grayscale ETF. You know, but what I do know is that if that doesn't go through for whatever reason, right, if that doesn't go through, Bitcoin's going to see a big correction on the downside. And I hope it goes through. But if it doesn't, you know, there's going to be a big correction most likely on the downside. Yeah, the housing market is crazy. How's Zillow doing? So like here's Zillow. So the real estate market has been in shambles. So here's 2023. Starting here. So real estate market went up a lot and then pulled back a lot for Zillow specifically. What are some other good real estate ETFs? What's the Vanguard real estate ETF? VNQ. Here's 2023. So yeah, let's put a yearly chart up. So here's the last year. Real estate's been a struggle too. Hmm. So we'll see when the Bitcoin thing goes through. Yeah, interest rates are freaking chaotic right now. Why is Nvidia rising if there's a head and shoulders pattern on the daily and it was at the neckline? Because technicals are always going to be trumped by fundamental markets. Technicals are good, but they're not the end all be all of price action. You know, you have to really look deeper and understand, like, these are based off of assets, and, you know, fundamentals and health is going to move these things much more than technicals ever will, you know. And that's something I've always been very open about, because that's just the reality of it. A lot of people hold on to technicals can be important short term, but the more you zoom out, fundamentals and long-term health play a bigger factor than technicals ever will. So it doesn't matter what pattern is there. It's never 100%. It's never always going to work, I guess is the easiest way to put it. All right, so Morgan Stanley says that the crypto winter is over and a new bull market will kick off after the Bitcoin halving. We'll see if it does. Bitcoin tapping 35K. Was it yesterday? Yeah, hyperinflation's, a lot of people are fearing it. Yeah, the housing market's freaking chaotic, man. Oh man, dude, honestly, the world's a scary place, bro. That's all I'm gonna say. I'm not gonna be specific. Again, we're watching real estate today. We'll see how that affects everything. Tesla up there, Google. Here's the SPY, here's the Q. So SPY is green, is up to 423 today, over the 200 EMA volume weighted average price. The Q recently broke under the 200 EMA, and the volume weighted average price is past 8 a.m. We still got some time. And then we also have S&P manufacturing and services PMI data coming out. Only scary when you put your eyes on it. Yeah, I mean, I'm all right. I don't really get too scared from that stuff. Is there a Tesla call now? No, not that I know of. John, can you post your video on how to pass the combine? Yeah, hold on. Yeah, I mean, it's just a good risk management system. So again, if you don't know what this video is, so I have a very specific system in terms of passing the Top Step Combine. If you don't know what Top Step is a funded account program for futures. What they do is they give you a demo and they test your skill. So they give you like 50K demo, $100,000 or 100,000 demo, 150K demo. And if you can hit the profit target in that demo and pass their challenge without hitting the max loss and while following their rules, they fund you the same amount. So the base one's 50K. If you pass it, you get 50K in funding. It's only like 49 bucks right now if you use my link. And they are a sponsor, so I'm definitely biased. But the way I pass these challenges, and again, I've been funded in 3 different accounts over the last couple months. And the way I pass them is pretty simple. What I do is I have this cushion building system. And that's what I talk about in this video. To put it in easy terms, what I do is I try to build up a small cushion first. Right. So if I try to build up a cushion of $100 to $200, and when I'm first building that cushion, I take smaller size, I trade with smaller, less volatile symbols, and I try to build up that cushion. Once I have that cushion of $100 to $200, then I'm able to maybe take more than one contract of the E-mini, trade the NASDAQ, something more volatile I'm allowed to trade after I build up that cushion. And then that way, if I build up the cushion and then lose on my higher risk trade, I'm back to break even. You know, it's not a huge drawdown, which is what ultimately eliminates people from these combines a lot of the time, is these big drawdowns that people have, right? And so when you do that over and over again, eventually it'll stick where you're going to scale up in size and you're going to make big money. You're going to make $500-600, and then you've got a huge cushion on the day, and then you could trade larger. And then that way, that's how you pass the combine in like 2 or 3 days. That's how I did, at least, because again, that makes it pretty easy to take large risks. And if you lose after you take large risks, you should have a cushion to fall back into. And so again, if you want more info on that, they are a sponsor of mine. I'm definitely biased in their favor because they pay me money and, you know, they're a sponsor of mine. But again, I think that's the right way. And I think even if you're not using these funded account programs in futures like I'm doing, you know, even if you're not using them, it's just a good risk management system to have in general, you know, just in general. So I'll put the video up if you want to check it out. There's the video right there. I mean, it's not really a speech. I mean, I don't know if you realize this, Strat, but it's a plug, you know? Like, I'm plugging a sponsor. And so I'm going to make this speech, you know, that you call it a speech multiple times a day. I mean, you know, again, no offense to everybody at home, but I'm not here out of the kindness of my heart. Nobody is. I'm here to make money like everybody else on YouTube. So you better believe we're going to plug sponsors. Should be a reasonable expectation, you know? Well, I mean, Angelique, so he says, I feel my best to follow your strategy, but I keep failing. I mean, I'm sorry to hear that, Angelique. Again, I'm just showing you guys a risk management system. Like, your day trading strategy is ultimately going to be what helps you win or lose. You know, and I never really even talked about that. So, like, if your strategy's not working, move on to something else. You know what I mean? What I just showed you is just a risk management system. You know. Yeah, for sure. It's a plug, 100%. But again, check it out. Hey, if you want to check out Top Step, you know, wink, wink. Here's the link. Check it out. Great way to help support the channel. Yeah, and again, I'd rather trust somebody. Like, I'd trust somebody more if they're just real about it. So I'm going to be real about it. Like, I'm here to make money. Of course, I'm not sitting here for 7 hours a day sometimes streaming, you know, just because I'm out of the kindness of my heart. Nobody is. And if anybody claims to be that, they're full of crap. Like, that's nonsense, you know. Yeah, sorry, I'm reading some of this. Q up there to 358, 8s, 359s. PMI is at 10. So the big one's at 10. Yeah, for sure. Again, I'm not claiming any of this is like always going to work. Again, it's just not a reasonable expectation. Like most new traders are going to lose. And regardless of whether, you know what I mean, regardless of whether they are trading my strategy, somebody else's strategies, regardless of whether they've got the best course in the world, the worst course in the world, most traders are going to lose. And so just trade smart, be safe, and understand that like most traders are about to lose. Just take it small. I definitely can't guarantee you're going to make money. But it's interesting. Today we have services PMI at 10 a.m. We got manufacturing and services PMI at 10, I mean. So I think it's actually at 9:45. Is it 10 a.m. or is it? Yeah, flash services and manufacturing PMI at 9:45 is when it is. All right, team. All right, so yeah, we got Coca-Cola. All right, team. So sorry, I'm switching the stream since we are going to cover. Yeah, so sorry, team. I'm trying to S&P Flash Services PMI. We had RTX numbers drop too. All right, there we go. This will have to be good enough. All right, team. Will or will you not teach your kids trading? If they want to learn it, I will. If not, it's okay. I'm not going to force them to it. It's actually the best funded account I've seen so far, at least for me, and I don't get paid to say it. Yeah, I mean, it's useful for sure. Yeah, Coca-Cola's still up pretty big. Honeywell, HD, Google earnings and Microsoft earnings are going to be like one of the big stories today. Those are this evening. I'll probably stream Microsoft earnings because of AI, but I'm not sure, Ismail, what we're going to get for these numbers. I really don't know. So yeah, no idea. We'll see. Bitcoin still not quite there yet. When are we supposed to get the news on the actual update though for the ETF is my question. Like, when are we supposed to get the actual news? Yeah, I mean, market's quieting down a little bit from this morning. I mean, we had a bunch of earnings released this morning and now we're kind of quiet, which is normal to expect. I mean, that's pretty standard, I would say. TLT's 20-year, right? Yeah. What are bonds at right now? So, 10-year treasury yields went down to 4.83%. So 10-year yields down. Yeah, Microsoft is interesting. Yeah, I don't know when or what I'm going to teach my kids in terms of trading. And whenever they want to learn, they can. I'll teach them whatever I can. All right, so Las Vegas is supposed to announce another partnership with a major professional sports team on Wednesday. Yeah, so Bitcoin up $7,320 in October. It's the biggest monthly gain since October of 2021. Microsoft, yeah, Microsoft's still up pretty big today. I mean, Microsoft has been one of the more resilient stocks throughout all this stuff. Like, it's dipped, but not that much. You know, Microsoft opened this year up at about 242s. It's at 330 right now. So Microsoft's still doing pretty well. Tesla trying to hold up there too. Tesla's right at that 200 EMA VWAP level. And I'm not sure what we're gonna get. Looking at our poll numbers, we got over 400 votes. Slap the like button. We need 4 likes to break 100. And again, we still got some time before we actually will get the services manufacturing PMI data at 9:45. So we still got like over an hour and 20 minutes to be exact. But we'll see. Time will tell. We got earnings for Microsoft and a bunch of other stuff this evening. So we'll get ready to day trade some too if we can. Micro Sailor's Bitcoin investment is now at a $745 million unrealized profit. There's the Q breaking over the 200 EMA and the VWAP level. We'll see if it holds. Again, we're very sideways this morning. Again, we got some other big earnings that drop. We had some movement earlier with all the other earnings reports that happened earlier this morning in pre-market, but all right, team. No, so we don't really have any news at 8:30 today. Nothing really major, at least. Like, most of the big stuff happens. You know, the next couple, aside from Thursday and Friday this week, economic data is light in the morning. Although we do have a bunch of earnings. Like tomorrow, I think we have some more earnings dropping. Let me see what it is. So tomorrow we've got Boeing, Thermo Fisher in the morning, T-Mobile, Hilton, Hess, a couple other ones. But we got some earnings tomorrow morning, but it's pretty light, as well as new home sales. In the evening tomorrow, we've got Meta, IBM, and a few other ones as well. And then in the evening, Thursday morning, we got like UPS, Altria, Merck, Southwest, Valero, Bristol Myers, Tractor Supply Co., MasterCard, American Tower Co., Newmont Mining Co., Comcast. And then Thursday evening is the big one with Amazon numbers, which will really influence the market. Amazon is a very volatile moving stock. And so Ford also, Chipotle also, Thursday evening, Intel also, Dexcom, Skechers, US Steel, Capital One, Vail, Deckers, Texas Roadhouse, Boston Beer. And then Friday we got oil companies. So like Friday we've got Exxon, Chevron, AbbVie, Phillips 66, Charter, AutoNation, Colgate, Newell Brands, and some other ones too. The big news economically this week is going to be on Thursday, with specifically GDP coming out. GDP is expected at 4.7%, for GDP. Last time it came in at 2.1%. So that's a big increase in specifically expectations versus we don't know what the actual numbers are going to be, but that's a big increase there. We also have initial jobless claims dropping Thursday at 207,000 expected. Durable good orders dropping Thursday at 2% expected. Friday, we also have the PCE data, which is the personal consumption expenditure. It's an inflation data release that drops Thursday as well. And then next week specifically, we got, what else do we have next week? Next week, we got non-farm employment, manufacturing, PMI, jobless claims. We got Powell's. Oh, okay. So we got the rate hike decision November 1st. I forgot about that. So next week, we got Powell. Yeah, so next week's busy too. We got non-farm payrolls, unemployment, jobless claims, productivity, factory orders, Powell's rate hike decision, ADP non-farm employment and manufacturing PMI, as well as the JOLTS job opening report, ISM manufacturing numbers, the Case-Shiller, CB consumer confidence data. And then I'm sure we got a bunch of earnings next week as well. So busy couple weeks in markets. Busy couple week in markets. Let's see what else we got. So next week, let's take a look. Next week, we got SoFi, McDonald's, Pinterest in the evening. Nothing really big. Pfizer, Caterpillar, JetBlue. AMD Tuesday evening is one group. PayPal, Roku, Airbnb. What else do we have after that? When's NVIDIA earnings? Palantir in the morning, Shopify. When's AMC earnings too? I gotta look those up. Apple. So Apple earnings are gonna be next week on Thursday. Thursday evening for Apple, which is good. I'm glad they're separating them. A lot of the time they'll do like Amazon and Apple same day, and I'd rather them just be different days. So Apple and SQ Thursday, November 2nd, day after the rate hike. So yeah, it'll be a busy week next week too, and then Friday, nothing. Okay. So let me see. When's NVIDIA earnings? NVIDIA is going to be November 21st. So we still got a month or so. What about AMC? November 8th. So not next week, but the week after that. GameStop earnings have been kind of weird. What other big earnings that am I missing here? I think that's most of the big ones. Powell speaks tomorrow. On what? I hope you're right, but what does he speak regarding? I'm pretty sure he doesn't speak tomorrow because he's in a blackout period right now. So he's in a blackout period right now. So he's not able to speak until the Fed makes their rate hike decision on the 1st of November. So next Wednesday, we have the rate hike decision, and he's actually unable to speak until that, regarding the economy, at least, like economics wise, he's unable to speak until they make that rate hike decision on Monday. Wait, you're actually right, man. So you're actually right. So at 4:35 tomorrow evening, Powell has a speech on the introductory remarks at the Moynihan Lecture in Social Sciences and Public Policy. Interesting. So yeah, that's tomorrow. Let's see. What is this regarding? Let me see. He can't comment on the economy. And so he might speak, but he's not going to comment on the economy. I mean, we can cover it like we always do. So yeah, so he's supposed to give a brief introductory remarks before the 2023 Moynihan Lecture in Social Science and Public. Comments by the Fed's chair can give clues, if not specific guidance on the economy. No. Yeah, I don't think he's going to be able to talk about the economy, though. I just don't think he's going to be able to talk about the economy. We'll see. I mean, I'll cover it if you guys want. It just depends. Like tomorrow, I think we have Meta earnings. And so we'll cover it, but like, I don't think he's going to say anything that moves markets. November 8th is Disney. Gotcha. like I said, I'll cover it. But again, I don't think he's going to say anything that influences the markets. I don't think he's allowed to. There's a blackout period. The week before, it's like I think it's like a week and a half blackout period prior to the actual rate hike decision. So basically what that means is for a week and a half prior to the actual rate hike decision, which in this case is going to be on November 1st, for a week and a half preceding that, he's unable to remark on the economy, I think, right? So I think for a week and a half, he's unable to comment on the economy for that week and a half period, is what it is. So again, I'll cover it as long as, I mean, I probably just, I'll stream it if I can, but, well, he's speaking tomorrow at 4:30 is when it is. And we'll stream it. But again, I don't think he's going to talk about the economy. So again, he's going to be speaking regarding its opening remarks at the Moynihan Lecture in Social Science and Public Policy in Washington. But again, I think because of the blackout period, he's unable to speak regarding the economy. I hope I'm wrong, though. I mean, hopefully, I don't know, man. Powell sometimes doesn't help the market. So maybe it's a good thing. All right, team. And again, if you haven't already, check out Top Step, funded account program and futures. They give you a demo, test your skill. If you can hit the target without hitting the max loss, and they fund you between 50,000 up to 150K. Great way to test your skill. Most day traders lose. And I know there's a lot of guys at home right now that are probably losing money day trading. And so you can either continue to lose your own money, risking thousands of dollars, or you can take a funded account program. The base one's $49. You still have some pressure. It teaches you how to trade under pressure, but you're risking noticeably less. If you're good enough to pass it, you can get anywhere between 50 to 150K in funding with a 90% split. So the reward is very similar to putting the money up yourself with just less risk. And if you lose, you're only out $49. And they pay out millions and fund thousands of traders every year. You can check them out. Great way to help support the channel. They are a sponsor of mine. I'm definitely biased in their favor. But again, the patterns in futures in like the S&P futures or the NASDAQ futures are very similar to large caps. You're basically allowed to trade the Q and the SPY. Different prices, but the same price action in futures, no PDT rule. And that's the benefits of futures, is that there's no PDT restrictions. And so again, if you want to check them out, here's the link. I lose all my Nana's money trading. Sorry, Nana. Yeah. People used to say I lived in my mom's basement. All I'm saying is that if I did, man, my mom's got a freaking nice basement. That's all I'm saying. What's up, Manny? Yeah, I don't like Teladoc as a long-term bet. I just don't like it. I think there's risks. I think it's vulnerable. Coca-Cola flying up though, and I'm in Coca-Cola right now. I hope it keeps going up. I'm up about $150 on this one in the day. But Coca-Cola rip it up. Here's my equities. I'm gonna brag about how much I'm up today, but I'm gonna also be real and say I'm down on the week for sure. So I'm up about 530 today, but I'm down more than that on the week after Red Friday last week. So yeah, I mean, I'm gonna delete that 7. No, honestly, their live stream usually their live stream only mixes about an hour of mine out of 3 or 4 hours, and so it might affect some of their other streamers. But it's not a reasonable expectation. I haven't seen my income decrease at all, from that. Hey, bud, how you doing, man? All right, I love you, buddy. Here, hold on, bud. Sorry, guys. My son's playing with my camera with my hat right now. Jack, you want to say hey to everybody?
Hello.
Yeah. Yeah. All right, bud. You look cool in that hat, bro. Doesn't Jack look cool in the hat, man? You look cool, man. You look like a pro golfer in here. Love you, buddy. Bye-bye, buddy. Hey, hey, hey. All right. Yeah, I love cookies, bro. Yeah, for sure. I kind of agree. C137. Nobody knows what's going to happen in markets. Buy and hodl. Yeah. Hey, you're back in here, bud. What you doing, man?
Hiding.
Hiding. You dancing around, buddy? Love you, bud. You look cool, man. Listen, you look cool, man. You look like Fred Durst. I don't know if that's a good thing. Fred Durst was like a 90s guy. He used to wear a backwards hat, though. You want to see Fred Durst, Jack? That's Fred Durst right there. Look, you don't actually look like him, so don't worry, okay? But like, he always had a fitted backwards hat, just like that.
Can you look up Tom Selleck?
Tom Selleck? Why Tom Selleck?
I don't know. I just heard that from another movie.
What movie?
I don't really remember.
Oh, it's all right. All right, buddy. So you're gonna go do good at school today? All right, buddy. You can do it, bro. Love you, man. Have a good day, buddy. All right. Sorry, my son wants to hang out in here. Bitcoin up to 35K, 35K. I live in Jack's. Yeah, thoughts on Tesla. Tesla bounced back a lot, but it's still got a long ways to go. Again, Coca-Cola at 55.75s. Bitcoin at 34.7 thousand. Thoughts on Tesla. Tesla, again, if we look at Tesla here, Coca-Cola ripping up. That's great. I'm in Coca-Cola. We'll see if it continues up. Tesla had a pretty good day this morning, but again, the problem with Tesla is like it had this huge dip starting back on October 10th. You know, so the last 2 weeks specifically, it's dropped pretty big percentages. You know, so Tesla has dropped pretty big percentages all the way from 260s down to 200s. So, you know, it's dropped 20% basically over the last 2 weeks. It's a pretty big dip for Tesla. It's all the way down at 220s now. So, and it rebounded back up. But again, that rebound is small when you take into consideration the huge drops that it's made. Tesla 216, yeah. We'll see. Feels like a sideways kind of day. Yeah, it's an earnings day, man. We got a lot of earnings coming out. And so, you know, we still got about an hour before the manufacturing and services PMI release. So we'll see. So I'm trying to see. So tomorrow we have Meta earnings. I'm trying to see what we got last time for those. Yeah, so Meta earnings will be streaming tomorrow too. All right. Coca-Cola still testing those highs. Bitcoin pushing back up towards 35K. The Q is pretty flat. I mean, it's over the 200 EMA VWAP level, but it's still got it, you know. All right. All right. Love you. All right, guys. So Microsoft, yeah. So Google, Microsoft are this evening. We're gonna stream them. They're this evening at like 4. So we still got time, but yeah, they're this evening. We got about 45 minutes until the open still. Bitcoin at 35K. Coca-Cola. What happened to RTX, man? I know it ripped up. Oh, RTX is at $80 a share now. I didn't realize it pushed up this much. I'm going to take another little piece off of this just because I'm already in it. And it's already up so much. So I'm just going to lock in some more profit there. Covered some in that. Again, we're also in Coca-Cola. Disney up again today. Disney, we've been in green in Disney, but it's never been like super green. You know, Disney at 80. Disney's between $80 and $85 for like months now. I think it dipped below 7 or 80s for a little while, but didn't hold there. Again, MicroStrategy is up millions and millions. Yeah, a lot of people say a new bull market coming. The question is it stocks or crypto? Man, look at freaking RTX, guys. RTX up to almost 81s now. I'll go ahead and lock it in some more. As we can be. PayPal bounced it up a little bit today, too. PayPal sitting at 54s. Yeah, I'm in Google right now. I've been in Google. I'm in Microsoft, too, though. I mean, I'm in a lot of different stuff, but both of those. I don't know. I hope Google's good. I hope Google and Microsoft are good. The market kind of needs it to save it right now. So, again, the market kind of needs it at this point in time. So Americans 65, age 65 and up accounted for 22% of the spending last year, which is the highest share since records began in 72. Excel posting numbers. Oh, man, I got to stretch my bag. I've been sitting here for too long. All right, guys. So, again, Q back under the 200 EMA volume weighted average price level. Tesla dipping below this level. So Tesla's starting to fall. Again, the market, a lot of it is up from specifically NVIDIA here. When we look at NVIDIA is up a lot. Like NVIDIA was at 400, under 410s yesterday at the opening bell. It's now at 435s, almost 440s. So NVIDIA has been one of the ones that's been essentially dragging the market up. So good movement here. I hope it holds too. Bill Ackman closed his long-term short on Treasury bills. Yeah, so a lot of people, will Grayscale's Bitcoin spot ETF get approved soon? That's what's causing the Bitcoin market to push up. Again, what I do know is that if it doesn't get approved, what I do know is that if it doesn't get approved, there's going to be problems. Bitcoin is going to tank a lot. It's going to drag a lot of stuff down. The other question is, what are banks doing today? So banks down a lot yesterday, down a lot the day before. Specifically, JP Morgan is kind of the guide I use. Citigroup looks the same. Wells Fargo looks the same. All down pretty heavily here. We're going to get ready to day trade too, but remember, manufacturing services PMI drops at 9:45 today, so less than an hour before that release. And so 15 minutes after the open. All right, so BlackRock has said, quote, tectonic shifts are underway in the U.S. financial markets that will result in pivotal credit funds financing more businesses while some banks struggle to compete, end quote. And again, that's from BLK, which is the largest investment bank in the world. All right, again, Cybertruck deliveries also begin November 30th. I always speculated that we get these big drops. We got these big drops in Tesla. It's very plausible that Elon intentionally pushed it down so he could buy up more shares ahead of the Cybertruck launch if he truly believes in the Cybertruck. Now, again, that's kind of out there. Definitely a conspiracy. I'm not sure if that's what's going on. I think it's possible, though. I do think it's possible. So. All right, so let me pull my charts up. NVIDIA trying to hold at 435. It's right around the 200 EMA. The Q is flat as well. I don't know if the market's waiting for the manufacturing data to come out or what, but market's pretty sideways. All right, so again, here's Natty Gas, which has been benefiting heavily from all this. Yeah, I'm okay with the Rangers winning as long as they win the World Series. I'm going to be more disappointed if they beat us and then lose the World Series. They've never won a World Series, to put into perspective for everybody at home. They've never actually won a series. So it's time. They better freaking win, but we'll see. Who's going to win the World Series? All right, so we got Game 7, the Diamondbacks versus the Phillies. I kind of hope the Diamondbacks win because I think they'll be an easier team. But either way, I think we should win. The Rangers should win. All right, so again, the Bitcoin Fear and Greed Index reaches a 6-month high of 66 now. Updated today. Unusual Whale posts that homebuyers must earn $115K to afford the typical U.S. home, according to Redfin. That's about $40,000 more than the typical American household earns, which is the problem in the housing market right now. Did you know Mariah Carey makes over $2 million a year from royalties from All I Want for Christmas Is You? Bro, I need to come out with a freaking Christmas song, dude. You know. The housing market's really what's in chaos right now. Look at a Natty Gas push up. I'm sorry, I should put the NASDAQ or the S&P 500 up. Again, we haven't traded at all today, so we're gonna move into our our cushion building phase here. We'll also look at the volume weighted average price, and we'll throw this up on the charts if we can. One day we'll even leave the bands up, I think, here. Again, we still got 4 minutes until the close, or to the 9 a.m. level. Hey, what's up, Derek? Mariah Carey makes bank at Christmas. Yeah, for sure. Will markets be in an uptrend until Thursday? What do you mean, for GDP? Yeah. Just need to be a one-hit wonder that sticks. Yeah. That's what I want, that royalty money, man. Let me make that royalty money. Yeah, we'll see what everybody starts saying about crypto soon. Again, I think we're in a vulnerable position right now, though, because the market has already reacted in a way to signal a potential Bitcoin spot ETF approval. But if that doesn't go through, right, like if something happens to where that's not approved, we're going to see some chaos on the downside in Bitcoin and crypto markets. I don't know how it's going to affect everything else, but we should see some chaos there. All right, guys. Should I take the upper and lower bands off? I don't know, man. I think I kind of like watching the upper and lower bands on the E-mini. This is the E-mini, the S&P 500, as you guys can see there. I kind of like the upper and lower bands. The Q's popping over 358s. Nvidia sitting there at 435s. We got 30 minutes until the market opens, 45 minutes before PMI data releases. Bouncing up a little bit on the E-mini. Watching RTX too. Again, still watching Coca-Cola. Coca-Cola's still up there. That's a 1 minute chart. I'm not really looking at anything past that. We're looking at short term. Yeah, Rangers should get it. Hopefully, I hope they win, man. It will get approved. I hope so. Everybody's going to be in chaos if it doesn't. Housing always in a boom bust cycle. That's normal. Yeah, for sure. Housing is getting a double whammy, though. Not enough homes and too expensive. We were all but in a housing crisis here in Alaska. Just not enough homes. Yeah. It's crazy with all the land up there, too. All right, so look at NVIDIA fall down to 434s. This might drag the market down. I'm going to take a small short position here. Is it letting me? Wait. Are we lagging? Wait, what? Dude, I hope we're not freaking lagging here, man. Let me exit out of Quant Tower and start it back up. I mean, it looks like it would have worked if I'm still in it, but I think the short would have worked if we just stayed in it. That's the E-mini. Dude, I wish I would have worked, bro. I was right about my directional trade. For sure. Weird, dude. I shorted it, but I don't think it... Oh, wait. That sucks. I mean, here's the NASDAQ. I would have made money on it for sure, without question. You know, again, what we spotted was Nvidia starting to crack, and then we assumed that this would follow us down. And again, we were absolutely right about it, but for whatever reason, it just didn't initiate the trade. And see, now it's working. So now we're in something on the NASDAQ short, but I shouldn't have taken this trade. I just wanted to see if it would fill me, and it did now. So sucks, but it is what it is, and we're all good. We'll give it time to break down. I see the NASDAQ still struggling here. There we go, $10 gains. There we go, 35, 50. All right, so we just cut that, $50 up. I'm going to move to the regular E-mini. I want to make sure I'm not in this still because this is the position we tried to enter. It doesn't look like it worked, but it's all good. Here's the NASDAQ. Catching the reversal, the red action as it starts. Yeah, so we were up a little bit. We made money, not nearly as much as we would have been if we would have caught this short like we wanted it. But again, this is mostly from Nvidia breaking down. I don't know if this is bad catalyst for Nvidia or what's going on, but something caused Nvidia to turn. Okay, so here's what it is. This is what just happened. So Nvidia does not anticipate that accelerated timing of licensing requirements will have a near-term meaningful impact on its results. NVIDIA says the U.S. government told NVIDIA that licensing requirements from implementation of additional export controls on some semiconductors and end effective immediately. NVIDIA does not expect the decision to have a near-term meaningful impact on financial results. So again, here is what happened, and that is causing NVIDIA to dump down. You know, it was at almost 440s, it's now at 430s right now, and it's tanking down the market. A number up on chat right here. But yeah, interesting. Yeah, so we're up a little bit already. We got a cushion, but not a huge one. NVIDIA's starting to bounce. It's right at that previous close price right here. Yeah, I called this short. And again, what I saw NVIDIA starting to break down, and I saw that the NASDAQ and the S&P hadn't really responded to it yet. So that's where the idea for the short came in. And again, it would have worked beautifully here, but just didn't fill, and I'm okay. I mean, it happens. Yeah, it could be issues with Quant Tower today. All right, so I wanted to short this, but I also see NVIDIA starting to fight its way back. It's almost back up to 432s. Again, my equities position is not really affected by this at all. Mattress Mac is trending. They should have let him throw the first pitch. Man, Mattress Mac freaking out, bro. Oh, I gotta see this, dude. Hold on, I gotta mute this music for a second. Man, mattress rack, mattress Mac going, getting angry here, man. What's crazy is like it's like people are saying "aha" to the Astros fans. It's like, bro, y'all had to wait freaking years to say to criticize us losing. Years y'all had to wait, and like that's all right. Like, listen, let it out. It's okay. You know, hurt people hurt people. You know, but yeah, Astros still the most winningest team in baseball over the last decade, without question. Again, Nvidia starting to bounce up a little bit. The Q is still down there. We can look at the SPY here too. McDonald's is giving away free fries every Friday for the rest of the year if you download the McDonald's app and make an account. I'm good. I just don't eat McDonald's, man. All right, so Kathy Wood says that the SEC is engaging with us on Bitcoin ETF application. It shows the change in SEC's behavior. Again, I think we're vulnerable though. I hope we get approved, but if we don't, it's chaos. Federal Reserve's got an open. All right, so BlackRock's iShares Bitcoin Trust has been listed on the DTCC. Man, Bitcoin short traders, y'all are playing a dangerous game too. Again, we're bouncing back up a little bit. Nvidia all the way back up. I don't know. Nvidia moving emotionally this morning. Really, market's not as super negatively impacted by it, I don't think. All right, so GM CFO says that they have not has seen weaker consumer demand. Okay, I don't know if he just doesn't know how to talk, but General Motors CFO says has not seen weaker consumer demand. I'm assuming they mean he says that the CFO says has not seen weaker demand, which would be a bad sign for GM, right? Like basically nobody wants to buy your cars. Yeah, and again, the market's interpreting it as such. GM breaking down here, it's at like $29 a share. All right, so the BlackRock Bitcoin approval is rumored for 7 p.m. What's GMT, bro? All these weird times, man. Just say Eastern time, dude. All right, so this is 2 p.m. today, is what they're speculating. 2 p.m. today. We'll see. We'll see. Well, I mean, of course, you're looking at 10 years. I said 10 years. You brought up almost 15. So, I mean, cow. But again, I'm not talking about just wins. I'm talking about we've made it to the World Series. We've gotten farthest in the playoffs, so forth and so on, over the last 10 years since 2014, without question. Either way, people are just mad, you know. The Dodgers are definitely mad because the Dodgers, honestly, all the best teams, the Braves, man. I thought the Braves would win the World Series this year. So Coca-Cola CEO commenting on the impact of consumption from weight loss drugs. There's still a lot of views out there as to what impact, if any, it'll have. So basically saying he doesn't think the weight loss drugs are going to have any impact on the purchasing of Coca-Cola. Is Tesla moving back up? I see GM trying. Again, NVIDIA is really what you want to watch. Tesla at 216s is not down much. NVIDIA bounced right at the previous close. Still trying to hold. SPY trying to hold. NASDAQ still pretty flat. A lot of stuff sideways. Yeah, a lot of the best teams would cold at the right time or the wrong times. Right times for us, though. You know, I'd rather them lose. All right, guys. Hey, we got 13 minutes. 13 minutes. Yes, the Fed Reserve's got an open board meeting. All right, so home buyers are backing out of deals at the highest rate in a year, according to Bloomberg, or according to Business Insider. I'm sorry. All right, so again, NASDAQ starting to flush down here. SPY starting to flush down too. I'm trying to identify what stocks are actually dipping down. Is it Apple? It's not really Apple. Is it Amazon? Not really Amazon. Is it Tesla? Not really. It's not really NVIDIA either. What stocks are falling down here? Is it banks? It's not banks. What else? Healthcare, maybe? No. What's causing the dips in markets right now? I mean, I see the SPY falling. see the chat knows. Nvidia, it's not really Nvidia. Nvidia it's dipping down, but it's not terrible. Exxon, not really Exxon either. Coca-Cola is still moving up. I'm trying to, I guess it's Nvidia. It could be Nvidia. Let's look at MU, Amazon, Meta, Apple, Google. Apple's down a little bit. Maybe it's Google, Nvidia. Biotech's not really going to move it that much. Lilly, not really down enough. Coca-Cola ripping up, trying to break highs. A little bit of a delayed response if it's from the weight loss drug argument that they gave, saying it's probably not going to influence it much. Halliburton CEO expects market for oil field services will further tighten as asset and intensive offshore activities rise. Yeah, I don't know if this Coca-Cola reaction is delayed or what. I saw the news for this come out a while back. Again, we got 9 minutes. Again, slap that subscribe button if you haven't already. Hit the notification bell. Coca-Cola rising up here. Again, we're in Coca-Cola. It's almost up to $56 a share. We'll see how it goes at the opening bell. The rest of the market's starting to fall, though. Again, look at the SPY dip. The SPY is probably having the biggest reaction to this stuff so far, as opposed to like the NASDAQ, but it's still dipping. I guess it could be from NVIDIA, although the pullbacks aren't super profound in NVIDIA over the last 5 minutes. The pullbacks over the last 20 or so have been pretty big, though. Hey, what's up, Tiny? I'm not really seeing oil stocks pull down much. Like JP Morgan, not really down that much. Wells Fargo, unless there's a bank that I'm missing. Coca-Cola is actually pushing up. Communications. I mean, Verizon's gapping up huge on the day, so that doesn't make sense either. Yeah, I mean, Apple's not really helping, but it's not like crashing down either. It's not like it's just crashing or anything like that. I don't know. We'll see. Yeah, Apple's still technically green on the day too. Again, I'm trying to figure out what it is. I just don't know why. Yeah, all good, Tiny. Don't stress about it. All right, guys. Hey, we got 6 minutes. Is it Microsoft? Yeah, I haven't looked at Microsoft. Microsoft's pulling back some. Meta. Yeah, it looks like it's Meta. Meta's dipping heavy, and Meta has earnings tomorrow. And again, we do have PMI data in about 20 minutes coming out. So, yeah, all good, Tiny. No pressure here. You're good. Don't worry about it. All right, so we're starting to rebound a little bit. Nvidia back up to 433s or so. SPY bouncing back a little bit here as well. Meta bouncing back some too. So we're getting a little bit of a bounce, a little bit of a rebound. So most U.S. mortgage rates are at rates below 4% according to Bloomberg. So looks like most of them, like almost 40%, are between 3 and 3.99%. I would say about 4% of them are over 7, which means recent. So 30-year fixed mortgage rates are now at 8.35%, a 23-year high. Whew. Every homeowner who refied down to 2.5% is never going to sell now. All right, guys, we got 2 minutes. I have 2.25 on a 20-year, and I have 18 years left, but I'm not sure I want to sell currently. Yeah. All right. Yeah, it's a crazy time, man. Forward earnings Thursday. We'll cover them for sure. Thursday, we got a lot of stuff. We got Powell speaking. All right, guys, here goes the market opening in less than a minute. We got Powell speaking. We got a bunch of stuff coming out. So it's going to be very busy. All right, so here's the opening bell, guys. All right, so here's the open. So we've been open for 5 minutes. I got a rebound at the opening bell. NVIDIA started to tap that previous closing price, although the SPY is starting to increase here. But watch NVIDIA closely here. We also should watch Tesla here. So Tesla on the top right. Tesla trying to pull back a little bit at the opening bell and then retracing, heading back up. You can see the NASDAQ starting to shoot up as well a little bit here. Coca-Cola, we're still watching that, man. Look at the rebounds in the NASDAQ here. It doesn't mean much yet because we're still pretty early after the open, but pretty large rebounds here. And again, we do have manufacturing PMI in 20 minutes. Look at this big rebound in the NASDAQ. NVIDIA is still trying to hold. Look at Tesla rip up over 217s. That's good. We need this. Big rebounds and everything, specifically Tesla, the NASDAQ here. I like buying these little pullbacks, but I also don't trust it enough. We're too close to the open. And if NVIDIA starts to dump, because NVIDIA just broke under the previous closing price, right? So if NVIDIA starts to dump, we could be in trouble here. So I'm just going to wait. Yeah, look, there goes NVIDIA down to 428, and look at all this retracement back up. So this is why, that first candle, you got to be skeptical of, I think. And maybe we hold, I don't know. I'm seeing some retracements back up, but it's not in NVIDIA, specifically in Coca-Cola. Tesla's still down. Where's Apple? Apple's still down. Microsoft down. Meta down. I think we're looking weak right now, to be honest here. NVIDIA's down. Microsoft's down. Apple's down. I'm going to short. It might be a little late in my short position here. I'm going to have to cover pretty soon. I'm going to go ahead and cut there just because we're so, honestly, I'd rather a $60 gain or a $60 loss. Yeah, we're down $50 actually. I'd much rather that. I just don't trust this enough. We're consolidating too long, and I might be right about the direction, but I think I forgot this was the NASDAQ, and I'm going to switch to the regular E-mini. NASDAQ moves a little bit too quick for me at the opening bell here, so I'd rather switch to the regular E-mini and then play with that as opposed to trying to attack the NASDAQ at the opening bell. It's just too risky there. All right, NVIDIA's starting to bounce back up. All right, so we're chaotic right now in markets. Big flyback. I'm gonna wait. J Powell speaking Thursday, I believe Thursday. Here, I'm gonna try to maybe switch to the NASDAQ too. We'll see. Let me show you the NASDAQ. NASDAQ really choppy, really sideways. All right, look at Tesla back up to 218s. NVIDIA fighting back up too. Meta ripping back up. Look at my equities portfolio today. We are up $652 right now in equities. Not bad. We'll see if NVIDIA holds support here. This is the big spot. And again, we do have PMI data coming out. J Powell speaks Thursday as well as next Wednesday. We have the rate hike decision. Yeah, that's definitely not what we got, Rickety. We got huge increases instead. So looks like me covering there was the right move. Still hurts to swallow. Ugh. All right, so again, we're waiting to see if Tesla can break highs again. Nvidia's right at the previous close, so my equities portfolio is actually doing all right. But again, Nvidia's right at the previous close, so I kind of have to sit. Johnson & Johnson is considering bankruptcy. Honestly, bro, I'm telling you what got Johnson & Johnson is very clear. What got Johnson & Johnson is they tried to mass produce products that were bad for kids. And yeah. All right, so Nvidia's starting to come back up. Tesla's starting to bounce a little bit. Tap 219s for a split second. We're also watching Coca-Cola here. All right, guys. Hey, we got 8 minutes. Or I'm sorry, 7 minutes until PMI data drops. 7 minutes. We're getting kind of choppy action though. Like the Nasdaq is towards the top of the range. Nvidia's sideways. Tesla broke over the 200 EMA VWAP level and it's sideways. Hey, what's up, Paul? Hey, thanks for the $2 donut, man. Yeah, I would just be careful with these, man. I mean, this looks like a terrible beatdown company. No offense. The long-term chart looks absolutely horrible. And so it just seems like a pumped up penny stock where you got a bunch of bag holders sitting on it, hoping it goes back up, unfortunately. And again, I hope that's not, what's going on. I hope it succeeds for you, brother, but I'm just incredibly skeptical of this, man. Maybe I'm wrong, though. All right, guys, PMI data release. 9:45. Let's see if we get anything good. Yeah, again, I'm sideways. NASDAQ just broke highs. NVIDIA's starting to rip back up too, though. Again, NASDAQ up, NVIDIA up. Look at Tesla rip. Again, PMI data drops in 4 minutes specifically, guys. So PMI data comes out pretty soon. Tesla all the way up to almost 220s right now. Very volatile market, though. They're not volatile, very choppy market, I would say. NVIDIA ripping all the way back up to the 200 EMA, fighting back. It's at 433s now. But again, we got 4 minutes left, guys. 4 minutes left. So subscribe if you haven't. I'm going to put it in sub-only mode. So if you haven't already, hit the subscribe button, hit the notification bell. I appreciate it. All right, so we got a little mini dip here. I guess I'm going to try to buy this dip, see if we get a little pop back, although it's risky and the market's choppy, and then PMI data releases soon. So it's going to be a scalp if I can. And if not, I'm just going to wait until the data releases and then maybe try to take some stuff. All right, so there we go. We just earned about 50 bucks, maybe a little bit more than that just now. Yeah, not too shabby there. We got the little pop again. 2.5 minutes left. 2.5 minutes. And again, if you haven't already, check out Top Step. If you want to day trade like me, I'm using a funded account program where they give you a demo. They test your skill. If you can pass the test and hit a profit target without hitting the max loss, it's a challenge. They fund you between $50,000 to $150K with a 90% split. They pay out millions, fund thousands of traders every year. It's a great way to learn how to day trade with less risk. If you lose, you're only out 49 bucks. Compare that to what most new traders lose, thousands. It's just a lot less risk, and it's a great way to learn. And if you're good enough to pass it, you get a 90% split. They pay out millions every year. They're the most legit one in the world, but they are a sponsor of mine. And again, I'm day trading essentially the Q. So you can day trade the NASDAQ currencies, gold, silver, the S&P, all that good stuff. You can check it out here. They are a sponsor of mine. But here we go. Here's the data release, guys. We got a minute and a half left. Ugh. Hey, thank you, Rock. I appreciate you, bro. Thank you, man. All right, guys, we got 1 minute. 1 minute. Market's dipping down. NVIDIA pulling back right back to the previous closing price ahead of this PMI report. All right, guys, 1 minute. Let's take a look. Again, services PMI expected at 49.8, 49.8 for services. We don't really have a manufacturing PMI expectation. It's at 49.5. So both of these expected around 49.5. We'll see what they show. Again, 20 seconds. All right, here we go. All right, here we go. Here's the link. All right, so 50 for manufacturing PMI. Services PMI came in at 50.9. So higher services PMI, higher manufacturing strength. And the market doesn't like this initially because, again, it probably means more inflation problems, but higher than expected on both manufacturing PMI at 50 versus 49.5 and services PMI at almost 51 versus 49.8. So higher than expected on both readings here. Both manufacturing and services had higher than expected numbers here. And so interesting for sure. Again, so we'll put this up on screen. Services or manufacturing PMI came in at 50. 50 versus 49.5. And then services PMI showed up at 50.9 versus 49.8. All right, so again, this is the numbers that just dropped. The market does not like this report at all. You can see the numbers showing up on the bottom of the chat right there. I'm pretty sure you can cash out 100%. You just got to close the count down if you want, or you can cash out 50% and keep it going. They're not vague about it. It says it on their site. You know. All right, but yeah, market did not like this report. Definitely reacting negatively. Or Nvidia under the previous closing price at about 428. So it's kind of a sideways day so far. You can see the NASDAQ. I just don't see any big profound edge right now. Not really liking this report, you know. And again, we'll see if we get anything better. We got earnings later on today. That'll be interesting for sure. You know, specifically Google and Microsoft earnings are later on this evening. So again, we'll see if we get anything good. Another one of my sponsors, guys, is a company called Chart Prime. It's a trading view indicator service. And I've showed you guys this a bunch, but again, I'm going to keep showing you because this is where I think the most profound edge. If you're struggling to become profitable, I can't guarantee you're going to make money, but this is a great way to, you know, try to find some edge in markets. You know, what I love using this for is the candlestick momentum and the indicators. Number one, just the reversal signals you can see can be powerful. So like, look at all the reversal signals. Look at how much they can work. Reversal down, drop, reversal up, bounce. So today's reversal signals worked, but back test it yourself if you want. Look at how accurate it is when you get engulfing candles, and the more than one is better, and a reversal signal show up right around the same point. And so again, I showed you guys this pretty regularly, but look, here's an example of this here. Beautiful bounce afterwards. You know, here's an example of this here. Beautiful bounce afterwards. These are a little bit too far separated, but even still, you got a nice little bounce up there, even if it did work, which is arguable in that one. But again, you keep going back here. You can kind of look at how accurate this is. Like, it's hard to find one that didn't work. These are too far separated, but even if you want to call it that, it worked. Again, here's one that definitely was close together, worked. Possible reversal up, bullish engulfing candle, worked. Reversal down, bearish engulfing candle, worked. Reversal up, bullish engulfing candle, works, right? And so as long as you're patient, and you can set alerts on these as well. As long as you're patient, you know, and you can set alerts, you can say, hey, show me market oracle whenever you get a possible reversal up or possible reversal down, and create that alert, and it'll give you an alert. You can also make it show up on your phone, on your tablet, on your email, wherever you want it. That's one of the ways you can get these alerts. And again, I can't guarantee you're going to make money. Nobody can, but I find this incredibly powerful. It's a company called Chart Prime. They're a sponsor of mine, but you can also look at chart patterns. I can look at oscillators. I can look at market dynamics, all these different things. The Market Oracle Pro will give you like buy and sell signals, all that good stuff. And again, I can't guarantee you're going to make money. Nobody can. They are a sponsor of mine, but back test it yourself. You can use these on any time frame in stocks, crypto, forex, futures. They can just be really useful. And again, if you want to check it out, here's the link. Great way to help support the channel. I'll also put the link up in the description as well as in the chat itself. Again, they are a sponsor of mine. I'm certainly biased because they pay me money, but again, I just think this is very useful, and there's just so much that you can use. And I think if you use my link, it's like 40 or 50 bucks a month, and so it's pretty cheap as well. And so yeah, you can check out the link right there also. And yeah, check them out. Pretty cool platform. With that said, though, guys, again, the market is pretty sideways. I'm seeing bearish action right now. I'm seeing pretty choppy, neutral action. Not really any great, you know, big momentum or anything like that. So it seems kind of slow and boring to me. We do have earnings later on today that we're going to be covering, as well as an appearance one. You know, another show today on Top Step TV. So we're going to be on there later on today as well. So again, I'll see you guys a little bit later. Good luck. Love you all. Y'all be safe. Again, hit the subscribe button, hit the notification bell. Thanks so much. We're pushing towards 120,000 subs. We're getting pretty close. We'll see if we hit it or not. But yeah, guys, love you all. Be safe. I'll be back later on. We got a lot of stuff we're going to be covering later on today. So yeah, y'all be good. We'll see you guys a little bit later.